There you go.
Oh,
That looks live.
Still in time, like
So I gotta go back over there when we're done.
Oh.
Hi everybody. Jonathan Scott, On Air Education,
You speak
behind the
French
scenes.
as first language or with
Second
your
language.
Second language.
I learned it by accident,
Oh, that's good. Me too.
not on purpose at any rate. Richard Chandler.
it's a handsome looking group.
I'm gonna take a photo.
Hi. Hey. Ha.
Vegetables. Speak
Which
vegetables.
one? Rutabagas.
Who told us that? Someone
It's
told us.
possible you can yodel. What? You could yodel rutabagas?
Who's Melissa Redford? Hi, Melissa Redford.
Melissa.
We all say hi.
Yeah, we're live on Facebook,
Hi,
everybody.
Melissa.
Oh, we are live.
Yes,
Yeah, you can
we're
share
live.
it. Go on my
okay.
page.
We miss you.
Oh, okay, hang on.
Yeah.
Let me tell this
Richard's
guy.
still doing levels. So we
Gigi,
can
can you
joke
tag
around.
me also on my Facebook?
Not too much
Jonathan?
joking.
And live also yours.
Little
Tell
joking,
Richard
not
yours.
too much
I
joking.
can see a live on Facebook.
Raymond
Giada
Chandler
here.
was my favorite
Frankie, Scinta,
mystery
Jonathan
writer.
here.
Oh, really?
Hi.
Distant relative?
I'm with the
Not that I know of.
Principessa.
I'm with the
Numero
king.
uno.
And with the king.
James Elroy for me.
You're the king. I'm
Let's
the
keep the plastic off the table until you need to drink it, please.
So Jonathan, when
Heard.
can people see
Tell you
this
how
one
many times I
on
heard
TV?
that in a movie.
I'm sorry, what?
When can people see this one on television and where?
Saturdays, it'll be a week from Saturday, and I think that's May, I don't know what Saturday in May is. It's the day of the Kentucky Derby, I know that, it's the first
Very
Saturday
good.
in May, 12
Everybody will be
noon,
watching us instead.
on the CW network, that's Channel 6 Las Vegas,
Cox.
on the Dish Network, Channel 33, Saturdays, 12 noon on
This coming?
Air Education.
May 1st.
A week
Oh,
from
Until the
Saturday.
8th.
The 8th. So
May
May 8th.
May
8th.
8th.
Maggio.
May 8th, live.
Well, no, this is live.
Well, we're live now.
And can people see it
I'm
also?
kind of
Live on tape.
Can the people that are not from Las Vegas see it on YouTube?
Would you
Somewhere else?
translate?
Can people that are not from Las Vegas see the
See it
show?
on
They can see it on YouTube, and they can go to onaireducation.com. The whole show will be posted on the website and also on YouTube. So on air, hashtag on air education all together.
Very
And
excited.
also on the CCEA, Clark County Education Association pages.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, be there.
You're a board member, aren't you?
Yes, I am a board member.
I'm a board.
You're bored. I'm just bored. Richard, do you need to get levels?
I'm working on them right now. I'm training up.
I'm always
conferences.
louder than everybody else.
Well, I can't imagine.
And that's why they call it broadcasting.
I'm usually the loudest.
I know.
Gigi, who's watching?
Your daughter does pretty good.
She does.
She's pretty
She's
loud.
cool.
She's right off the old
Yeah.
block.
Jonathan, say hi to Sandra
Watching.
Schaefer Schneider, who's watching.
Oh, yeah.
Ciao, Flavio.
Hi guys.
Hi, everybody.
Flavia. Ciao,
You know what? I'm
Flavia.
going to share this right now because
Yeah, do it.
my fans could be watching.
This is the behind
all
the scenes.
three of them.
And Peter is watching.
Who are you
Hi,
kidding,
Peter.
Mr. Saturday Night?
Nice
I
to
know.
have
Mr.
you on.
Saturday Night.
Oh, there we are. We're
Gagliardo.
actually live.
Gagliardo, maybe?
So
We're
share it.
share it to my
Share,
page.
share now,
Share now. There we go.
That's it.
and it should be happening.
So great.
Tell everybody
Share
that
it.
we can go live on
Technology.
the page of
And-
Jonathan Scott.
JJ
so they can
does
see the
that
whole
for
show.
John.
So you guys go on Jonathan Scott. What is your Facebook account?
Jonathan Scott LV for Las Vegas.
So,
JONATHAN Scott LV for Las Vegas.
so we are going. I'm gonna share the live of Jonathan on my page, so you guys can see it there. Vi mando un link.
And then we'll have viewers from Italy and all over the world.
Vi mando il link di Jonathan, lo vedete dal vivo sulla mia pagina in un attimo. Quindi vi saluto, vi vedo dopo. Ciao. Bye.
En français?
En français. Oh, here. Can you say in French that they can all go to my Facebook page, to my Jonathan Facebook page?
Bah oui, il faut visiter Facebook. Voilà.
I could have said that.
That was short.
And for all my friends in Buffalo, just tune in.
I like this one. Just tune in. Okay, guys. I'll
Put
see
your
you.
spoon and fork down.
I'll see you in a second in the other live. Bye, guys. Ciao. Jojo, just tag Jonathan.
Yeah.
We share the one of Jonathan, so we have one live for all.
Oui.
Mais oui.
Si.
Je parle un peu français, je comprends.
Ah voilà,
Moi, oui.
voilà. Mes étudiants, même.
That.
Yeah, it's a beautiful language.
It's been a very interesting year.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
Richard,
Yes.
All right, I'm framing up camera. What's up?
do you have the clock for me?
I do not have the clock. I'll have to use my phone though, so I'll just have to like put my hands up and just show you the clock every now and then.
Okay.
So we'll do that. That's
So we'll
okay.
do 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 7 minutes.
Yep. Yeah. So with
It's a half-hour show, so I do 3 segments: 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 7 minutes.
Okay.
So I'll throw a commercial, and then I'll come right back. We'll put the commercials in later.
But we're still live on Facebook.
We're still on live. We're on live on
But don't
Facebook.
ignore them. Those people, you know, they paid good money to watch.
That's right.
I don't ignore my Facebook
Yeah.
fans, my friends on Facebook. No.
Giada, is that how you're gonna sit during the interview?
Is this how I'm going to
I'm
sit?
blocking all the shots.
Yes.
So,
Yes,
I
this is
don't
how
know.
I'm
You
going to sit.
tell me.
yeah, no moving around. So yeah, get comfortable because what I want to do is I'm framing everybody up. I have a remote
And where is the camera?
switcher here,
Where is,
so
where is the camera?
I'm locking.
There's one by...
Well, the well,
Here,
you're just going to be talking to each other. So the cameras are 1, 2, and 3. Jonathan, I think we're going to have you addressing this camera.
Okay.
Okay.
So am
So-
I?
Come here, I'll
So,
So you're
when
gonna
I
be-
talk to you,
well,
am I-
yeah.
you
You're
just
going to open wide and
See
then
how
close
this
up on
works?
me?
Well, I'm just going to switch the cameras like crazy. I'm going to follow the conversation. So I'm always
I know,
gonna-
but just for the
See if
open.
I talk to
You're
them.
open wide
I have
after
no
the...
idea what's
Are you going to run the...
No, I'm not gonna. I'll start with you because you're gonna say hello. You can do your greeting. You're gonna
Giada,
do your
Okay.
maybe
thing.
turn
Then
your
you're gonna
chair
introduce
toward
everybody.
me
Yes.
a little bit.
And I'll do wide, and then as you
Hold
go
your-
back
so
and
that
forth
your
to whoever you
face
speak to.
Ready when you are.
Yes,
Yeah, so
better.
just give me
Even
a
when
few
you're
more
talking to
minutes,
him,
'cause I
we
just
can
Okay.
wanna
see you
make sure
better.
everyone is in their
Doesn't look
spot.
funny that I
So-
Richard
No.
Giacovino
No.
needs a few more minutes.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
still love you. Sorry for that.
Voglio bene sai.
Pure io. Sorry.
I'm going to get my eyebrows done.
Yeah,
Would
Do
you
you have any
like-
other tattoos?
No, Sicilian. Can't.
No?
No.
Jews can't either.
It's pure
Really?
io.
Well,
Can't get
it's a
buried in it.
Sicilian thing.
It is?
I'll tell you why later. My
I
grandparents
can't
and
cameras.
my uncles and my father. No, no tattoos. But wait a minute, all my friends. I don't care about your friends. You can't do it.
No piercings.
Nope. Nope.
No,
Me
that he's
neither.
aware.
Not unless you get stabbed. That's the only kind of piercing you can have.
I was with Frankie one night. at the
Donna
tap house.
Bennett Hogan says hi, Frankie.
Hello, hey. Hi, guys. So if my fans are watching, all 3 of you, you know, I actually have a Facebook family now
You do?
of about 300 plus.
Well, it started,
Wow.
somebody started with Mary, somebody?
Mary Toporowski and Connie and Ginger. They started it after the show
Yeah.
fan club.
To
That's
talk
nice.
about what you talked about.
It's just funny. It's
Oh,
beautiful.
It is funny.
I'm blessed, man.
And
I mean, I'm not working, but
Well, yeah, but I've watched it from the beginning when, you know, we started talking about doing the podcast, and I said, do it.
I asked you for some tips.
Yeah.
So I knew how not to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't do what I do.
No, no.
For you kids at home.
Yeah, don't do what he does.
Don't do what I do.
But it did. You'd have told me, you just get the camera. So we did it. It was an amplifier on the floor, one mic,
Yeah.
and now we got, 30
It's 10,000 people watch him, Saturday, 6 p.m., quarantined with Scinta, but you got to change the name now.
I'm going to have, we're
80% Scinta.
80%.
50% maskless.
And just keep doing the percentage
Yeah.
as it changes.
Scinta at 80%.
Shinta, 80%.
And then it'll be
Shinta.
100% Shinta.
100%.
Starting, and that's
I
a
asked
great
him the text the
name.
other day.
Oh, that's
I said,
funny.
when you were a little Scinta, did your grandparents or your parents speak Italian?
Yeah, they did. They did, but then, a lot of people didn't want them to because they were considered, it was like you were not treated well
No.
if you had broken English. But what was funny was my grandparents, at 99 years old, he still had broken English. Frankie, come over here. It was always like that. Or, where are you going? Where are you going? Mary, I'm going. Kids come here, they're here 3 weeks, and they're going, how you doing? You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. They lose it fast. I miss hearing the broken English of the
Is there
grandparents.
Is-
I miss
Yeah.
it. There was something about it. It was home.
The old
imagine
country.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I used to hear it.
it was. I get emotional when I talk about the family.
Well, we know you're going to be crying, but
Yeah.
that's
I think
the
I told you that they are professionals.
Oh,
in
God.
Italy. They
Wait,
should
wait,
come
wait,
to
just
the
go
United
this way a
States
little
to
bit.
talk to the old people to retrieve the accents because we lost the dialects. So they come here and they make those old people speak the Sicilian of Calabria, whatever.
Calabria, right?
To pick up those dialects because we lost them in Italy. We don't have them. But the old generation, before they passed all away, they still speak this dialects.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
I was in Sicily 2 years ago, and I speak the old dialect, and the kids were going, as soon as I spoke, they go, that's old Sicilian, isn't it?
Yes.
Like bicherido, you know how you say a little baby?
Little baby.
Bicherido, they don't say that anymore.
No, we lost the dialects. We still have little dialect, but not as strong like a language that was in the past.
It was beautiful. It really was beautiful. It wasn't quite as pretty as proper Italian.
No, it's different. They're dialects, so they're just modifications of Italy, but yeah, they have characters.
Hey, Jonathan, can you see me if I
It's a Sicilian.
hold that
Right.
up? Can you see that number?
Almost,
Yeah.
we sound
So
like
it's gonna
Spanish.
start at 0 and work its way up
Yeah,
to 8.
it doesn't have to be exact, but
Right.
around
It was a
Yeah,
house.
we
I
can.
was a little more
Oh,
fun.
yeah, we can
when
make
somebody
adjustments
spoke
as the show goes on. So,
You listen a little
okay,
Yeah.
very good.
But
Ready?
we lost
8 minutes and 7 and 7.
All right.
Okay, Frankie,
I like
Mary
the
said to say hi.
Hi, Mary. Mary Toporowski?
Yes.
My favorite
The fan club?
My favorite Polac's on right there in Buffalo, New York. Throw the baby down the stairs.
Yeah.
Cookie.
Jak się masz? Dziękuję pani.
Chinkuya. She's a great
Dziękuję.
person. She sent me all these Polish. I had the
Kolacki?
best fan. Everything. Cookies and all made in
Kolacki.
Poland. Beautiful.
Pierogies.
Pierogies. Yes.
I don't know, a good Polish restaurant here in Las
You shared
Vegas.
it.
Look
Mary,
at
there
some
you
of
go. Come and open a Polish restaurant in Vegas.
You have it in your pocket.
Or find us one.
We used to go to Wozniak's Blue Island Casino in Chicago.
Wow.
For pierogi. Downstairs they'd make the pierogies, and upstairs was the dance hall.
Oh.
Aren't
I don't know that
pierogies
song.
just
Oh
really
yeah,
oldies,
da, da,
right?
da, 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 da. It's you know the Polish song.
Moja droga, ja cię kocham. Yes, I know.
Bobby Vinton, wasn't it?
Excuse me.
Okay. All right, Jonathan, are you all set?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't go that
All
far, but
right.
I'm prepared.
All right. Let's see. All right, I've got everybody. All right.
Standing by.
All right, Jonathan, are you set?
Yes, I think so.
All right. Let me know when you're comfortable, and I'll give you a little
I don't
5
have any
second.
tags. I don't have any.
And we're gonna start you on.
I gotta
We're gonna
reach
start
for
you.
my
And
water.
food.
we're gonna start you on this camera,
Yeah, I'll
Jonathan.
do it at the break.
Jonathan, we're gonna
What?
start you on this camera right here.
Okay.
See it?
Yes.
All right, good. All right. Everybody, get those coughs out.
Yeah, yeah.
Get the cobwebs out.
Get those
You know
goblins
that
out.
the Sinatra, the guy walks into a bar
Yeah.
and he bets the bartender $1,000 that he can fart the national anthem.
Okay, no, never heard
The
this.
bartender takes the bet. Guy pulls down his pants and he craps all over the bar. He said, "What's wrong with you?" He says, "Even Frank Sinatra's got to clear his throat before."
That's terrible. Oh my God. And welcome
For you,
to the
Facebook.
show.
For you
Excuse
kids at
me,
home.
you're on Facebook.
Give me a 5 countdown.
All right. Well, you guys just gotta pay attention. Quiet all around, because here we go. All right. Are you
Yes,
ready,
yeah.
Jonathan?
Yes.
Ready?
Please.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Hi everybody, I'm Jonathan Scott and welcome to On Air Education, a show dedicated to helping our teachers, our parents, and our students with distance and blended learning. Today on the show, we have dear friends that are going to talk about English as a second language and language just in particular, how it's going with the children, how it's going with the teachers, how it's going with the parents. Joining us is an actual teacher, Brad Chandler from Durango High School.
Hello there.
Wow.
And also a dear friend, headliner, showman, Frankie Scinta.
Hi, everybody. Hi. Welcome to the show. I'm
And-
glad to be here.
And when you were, we talked about this before, when you were a little Scinta, your
Yes.
grandparents and your parents spoke Italian in the house, right?
They did. Actually, it was a Sicilian dialect. But yes, Italian. And, you know, all the commands were in Italian. All the commands, like to eat, to come here, to shut up.
Even
I'm
I
gonna
know
give you-
manja.
Yeah, I know, right. Or tate, you know, when they're going to give you a spanking. All the commands were in Italian. And I miss that. I really do. Because they're all gone. All my uncles, all my aunts, they're all up in heaven somewhere. Most of them
Now,
are in heaven.
I brought this coffee mug because I know the firefighters are very close and dear to your heart, and we received this together.
We did.
And your uncles and your dad?
My father.
All firefighters?
32 years.
Yeah.
He was a Buffalo firefighter.
And also joining us, songstress. international recording artist, Giada Valenti, a true Italian from Italy.
Yes.
Yes, born and raised in Venice, Italy.
Oh,
So,
boy.
how old were you when you started learning English as a second language?
Actually, English I learned it later in my life when I met my husband. I learned French as second language when I was at school. I could choose between English and French. I was in love with French music. I could already sing in French everything, but without knowing what I was singing about. So I chose French. And when I met my husband, he's Dutch. I moved to Amsterdam. We didn't have a language in common, me and him, because I could speak Italian and French, and my husband all the others. So we decided to choose English as a second language to communicate. And then later, I put aside my English. I learned Dutch because I was living in Amsterdam. So now it's my third language.
How do you say hello, how are you in Dutch?
Hoe gaat het met je?
Nice to meet you.
No, how are you?
It sounds like it's nice to meet
Nice to
you.
meet you is aangenaam.
Very close.
Very close.
Mr. Chandler, Mr. Chandler,
Indeed.
how are you doing with distance learning and blended education?
We're having a very interesting time trying to teach a foreign language on the internet when we're not allowed to make the children turn on their microphones or their cameras. So it's kind of like a magician going onto the stage to do a card trick and calling someone out of the audience who not only refuses to pull a card out of the deck, but refuses to come up onto the stage. So a good portion of my students, I have never heard them speak a word.
How do you do it?
I aim for high middle and I keep going and hope for the best. And I'm astonished that I'll ask them, the ones that are responding to my questions, and they can come up with the answer in French. It astounds me all the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you never hear their voice, like,
Many
or
of the
when they, are any of them like, okay, I'll turn it on when I'm going to say something?
Yes, indeed. Probably a third of them do. A third of them I've never heard a word from, and a third of them turned it on until they found out that they didn't have to.
Wow.
Wow.
So it's been very interesting for us all.
Do you blame the parents for that?
No.
Because if it was my kid, I'd say, turn your mic on.
Well,
So it's the Canvas program,
Right,
right?
it was you would say?
Yes, it is indeed the Canvas program. It's so easy to say it's all the parents' fault, but it's not. This is a very busy city, and parents are out working, even during the pandemic. A huge number of parents are out working, and if they're at home with the kids, if they've got 4 kids and they're all on the computer at the same time, it's very difficult to monitor what everybody's doing. So we've got to be very careful before we point fingers at anyone.
Okay, well, I'm going to point a finger
You
at
go
all
ahead.
of you, because I pulled something out that I want to share with you, and
In
see
front
where,
of everybody?
see where it goes. If you could say, here's the question that was posed. If you could say something to your 10-year-old self, what would it be, in the hope that it'll resonate with all of you? At 10 years old, I'm going to read this, I didn't write this, but at 10 years old I was really struggling with school and my dyslexia. I had a restless spirit and poor academic records, which meant I was nearly expelled from the all-boys school I attended. When your potential in life and your self-worth is dictated by exams and spelling tests, it's easy to feel lost and like the world's against you. If only my 10-year-old self could see that my dyslexia and my different ways of thinking would become one of my biggest strengths and would lead me on a wonderful adventure beyond the school gates. If I could say something to my 10-year-old self, it would be a gentle reminder that being different does not mean that you're flawed, does not mean that you're lazy or stupid. Thinking differently makes you unique and allows for so many different ideas, innovations, and adventures to unravel. Don't be afraid to embrace the quirks, think bigger, follow your passions, explore your creative thoughts, and hold on to your underlying sense of optimism. Stay passionate, creative, and true to yourselves by holding on to a Peter Pan-like sense of wonder and exploration that we found within ourselves from an early age. If only we knew at 10 years old that we would carry this within us all of our lives and become pivotal to our success. I'd also remind my 10-year-old self that people are always more important than grades or exam results. The way you treat people and trust people will prove to be far more valuable than algebra. And when you do feel the world is up against you, just know that there are many, many others before you who've struggled with school in a similar way. And many have gone on to create wonderful things. Life comes with its fair share of challenges, but if you stay true to yourself and keep dreaming, anything is possible. This is just the beginning, and the real adventure is about to begin. This was written by Sir Richard Branson.
Wow.
Oh.
So the question I pose, what would you say to your 10-year-old self?
Something my father always told me was, be proud of what you are, number one, no matter what it is. Always be proud of yourself and your family and where you come from, whether you're poor, whether you got nothing. And another thing he said to me, be nice to everybody on the way up in this business because you're going to meet the same people on the way down. And that was very poignant. That's something that stuck with me. And I've told other young entertainers, you got to be nice, because you see some entertainers out there, once they make it big, they're not nice anymore. And they don't last long. Even though they got a lot of money, that doesn't mean anything. They fall from the grace of the public. And we've seen it, I won't mention any names, you know, on a national scale, international scale, you got to be nice. And Kermit the Frog, it's not easy being green. Everybody yelled at him, oh, you're just green, you don't know anything. He felt different. You know how many kids are different today? In so many different ways, whether it be with their family, whether it be themselves. It's okay to be who you are. And the song starts out, it's not easy being green, but it ends up being, wait a minute, green's the color of the sea, it's the color of trees.
It's the color of money.
That's only a Jewish guy would say that.
Look,
only in this country, in Canada, it's pink.
Is it?
It's all colors.
Now, you were a child prodigy at 8 years old. You were on TV at 8, weren't you?
9, I was on 10 Mac Amateur Hour, 10 Jerry Lewis Telethon, 11 with Merv Griffin. Yeah, I was a child star.
Wow.
Giada, same question. What would you say to your 10-year-old Giada Valenti?
Probably I would say thank you to my family, my grandfather, for teaching me something that basically has been the guidance of my whole life. My grandfather used to say that the most important things in life was to be happy. And my whole life I've been following my happiness without being greedy about money. Maybe I could have been more successful or whatever, but I always choose happiness. Happiness was music, so I always follow music. Even though I studied, I did everything my parents told me to do, because another things that I learned in life was to listen to the people that are older than you. So I would say to myself, you are a good girl at 10 years old. And another thing is I've learned to be grateful. You mentioned something about people reaching certain grade of fame and forgetting where they're coming from. And my grandmother, when I was a little girl, she was a singer. She used to say to me that I was supposed to be grateful. If one day I would have had the chance to become somebody and to do something with my life that I love so much, that be grateful to your audience, to your fans, to the people that will love your music, because if it wasn't for them, you would be singing in the shower. How true is that? That's what an artist is. You have a blessing, and the blessing is also your audience.
Now, something else you have in common
We do.
is that your father was a police officer,
Yes.
was he not?
Yes.
So he was first responder, just...
And my brothers, half my family was in the law enforcement too. Cousins.
Mr. Chandler, same question.
I always found school very easy, all the way through I did. So it would be tough to say something about academics to myself. But
You almost said academics.
I almost did. What's the difference? The thing though that I have noticed in the kids is they're not all in that boat, of course. So at the end of every year, for every class, I always tell the kids that you started French, and some of you thought it was going to be the most wonderful class, and it turned out not to be so great. And some of you thought it was going to be terrible, and it turned out to be really good for you. But please, whichever boat you're in, at the end of this year, don't confuse the grade you get in this class with your value as a human being.
Very nice.
That's great right there. You're watching On Air Education. My name is Jonathan Scott. We're going to take our first commercial break and be back in 60 seconds. Stay right where you are.
All right, you're in break.
How
All right.
close did I come to 8
So
minutes?
that was a 10-minute segment.
That was a 10-minute
Yeah,
segment?
yeah, it was
Okay.
10 minutes. So you got to adjust.
Seems so much longer. No.
Well, the thing you read was
It was very nice.
very nice.
Richard Branson.
So you want to cut a little bit of time off the next segment coming up?
Let's do 7 minutes. Yeah, do 7 on the next one. You're coming out of a clip, so we'll do Frankie's clip. So I'll do something about Frankie coming
So
back.
we can do that. Okay, and then what's the
7 minutes.
And how long is the third one?
7 minutes.
7 minutes. So we'll might have.
So you'll be at
18, 19.
it's going to be 24, 25, 26, 27. You're still okay.
Okay.
7 minutes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Cool enough.
Coming back.
Stand by. All right.
Hi, everybody in Facebook. Hope you're still with us.
Yeah, I hope you're not bored. We're on break right
Frankie,
now from commercial.
What would you tell your 10-year-old self?
Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Scinta.
Lose some
Your
weight.
I'd say
crucifix
something
hitting
very
the
different
microphone.
to the
Say what?
17-year-old
It's hitting the microphone, and I'm getting a little bit of
Metal?
little static. Yeah, if you can.
Anne Marie Oliver says hello.
These
Hi,
are all Frankie
Anne-Marie.
And
peeps.
Marie, yeah.
Connie. Hi, Connie.
Should be all right.
All right.
Can you let's see. Let's tuck that wire in a little bit. I know everything's kind of like all over the place.
Peter
Actually, you know what?
Gagliardo.
Take
Hello,
your,
Peter.
Take your microphone off
Again.
and put it under your.
You talking to me?
Yes, I'm so sorry. Yes. Yeah, take your microphone off, put it under your chain, and then bring it back up to your collar. This way you can.
Oh,
Yeah.
like that?
Metal's interfering.
Yes.
All right.
Something like that.
How's that feel?
Let's see. You like it?
All
Yeah,
better?
sounds great.
All right, good.
Sounds beautiful. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Wow.
that. All right, Jonathan.
April
are you
Diamond is
all
watching.
set?
Say hi to
I
April.
thought-
Hello.
Who?
30 days
April
of
Diamond.
April
What's your
Diamond.
guess?
All right, you ready?
Ready.
5, 4, 3, 2.
And we're back. Jonathan Scott here on Air Education. I didn't mean to shock you.
Scared the hell out of me.
Our guest, Frankie, Scinta, Giada, Valenti, and from the Durango High School, Mr. Brad Chandler.
Hello.
Okay. Something about our guest, Frankie Scinta. Frankie Scinta is the heart and soul of his show. The Scintas, for over 4 decades, Frankie's performed every night like it's his first and last. After appearing on national TV as a child prodigy, Frankie has never looked back. Frankie Scinta has been headlining his own show in Las Vegas for over 20 years, brings every audiences to their feet every show. Frankie plays every string and percussion instrument under the sun, and spot-on impressions of some of the most iconic entertainers that have ever performed, from George Burns, Dean Martin, Tom Jones, Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles to Bruno Mars. Frankie Scinta's a must-see show in Las Vegas. Frankie Scinta's a true patriot, paying homage to the men and women of the armed forces, law enforcement, and all first responders in each and every show. Frankie says he lives to perform and will continue to sing and make people laugh for as long as there's a stage and an audience to entertain. During COVID, you've had to be creative. We've talked about this during the break, and find your audience through your Saturday 6 p.m. live by request streaming show. I've watched you from the beginning, and your engagement skills can be summed up in one word: authentic.
Wow.
Authentic.
Thank you.
Your emotions come through that 13-inch computer screen, and I have to ask you, what tips now do you have for our teachers and parents that are struggling with engaging their students?
I think, well, I mean, I never thought about it. I just, you know, my children always wanted me to do this live thing. Dad, you got to do it. My son, Frankie. My daughter, Danielle. Even my daughter back in New York. Dad, you should do it. Everybody's doing it. I go, who the hell's going to watch me? And I never thought I would get the audience that I'm getting.
10,000 people watch it.
And they're engaging. They're very loyal. It's become an appointment show where people are planning their Saturdays around. And I never thought that.
I know you didn't.
And my musical director, Mariano Longo, he always was telling me, you know, you do a little bit of every song, but why don't you do a whole song? Because I said, well, I'm really not an artist. I don't think Giada Valenti's an artist. When she sings a song, you're engaged like this because it's the voice, it's the heart, it's the way she presents the song, the story she tells before she sings it. So you're already in deep into this woman that's going to sing, and you're like, oh my God, this is beautiful. And I end up crying. I didn't think I was that kind of person, or I still don't really, but it's become that. Because of COVID, because I've locked up in my house with my children and my family, I've taken a breath back, and I'm singing whole songs, where I never did before. And my musical director said, that's what I want you to do on stage. Soon as we get one.
Well, it's that authenticity and your emotional engagement that I think the people feel, and you don't know all 10,000 people, you can't possibly know all of them, but a good many of them, I see them, they're making comments all the way through, and I know that you take the time the next day to answer each and every person that's made a comment, and that's part of the engagement. And something else that you both share is to stay on point with our topic of English as a second language, is you both do songs in different languages at the same time. You do English, and whether it's French or Italian, you do that.
And that's engaging to people, even if they don't understand the language, because French is beautiful, Italian is beautiful, and when you do a little bit of an Italian song in a show, it touches people because there's emotion in those lyrics, and they can feel it even though they don't understand it.
Well, that brings me back to our teacher, Brad Chandler here. And I always want to, you're a teacher, I want to call you Mr. Chandler.
That's all right. My graduated students still call me Mr. Chandler.
You're Mr. Chandler. How many languages do you speak?
I speak English first, French second, and I am functionally illiterate in Spanish.
I love that
I can get more towels and another cerveza.
Why is it easier for children to learn a second language?
Why is it easier than what?
Or how is it easy? How is it? What makes it easier?
The thing that makes it easiest for them is if they're immersed in that language. I have to deliver as much French as I can in the classroom because in Vegas, finding someone outside the classroom to speak with is very difficult unless you're working in a casino. Sometimes you'll get French clients in, but it's difficult to find a resource outside of the classroom, so I have to stay on French all the time.
Our associate producer, Carol Adams-Attar, wrote this question, which I think is a very good question. How does music help in learning a language?
Very much so.
Do you use it?
It's pronounced, yes, I do indeed. It's pronounced very differently when it's sung, the French language is. The endings of words are pronounced where they're not in spoken language, so they get a different side of pronunciation for French. And if you can play the modern music that they can relate to, there's some great rap stars right now in France.
Really? Like who?
Like MC Solar, the great MC Solar. There are a lot of them.
Yeah.
And the kids can really, really relate to that stuff. So it's a hook. It's an easy hook.
Well, for those older viewers, I mean, we remember Frere Jacques.
They'll sing right along. They'll sing, what's the bird plucking song from Canada? Alouette. That's what that was. And they'll sing right along. I make a fool of myself in front of them. At first, they're very timid, and then they join in one by one. And by the end of the song, they're screaming. It's a body part song because you talk about plucking the bird's head, and then the wings, and then the tail, and then the. So
I never knew what that was about.
Wow!
You have to.
I didn't know.
Yeah, it's a bird hunting song. Anyway,
wow.
to get the birds ready for the oven.
Well, you
have
to be careful when you use music in the classroom. You have to have a reason to play it. It can't just because it's a pretty song. There has to be a tie-in to the grammar or to the cultural point that you're studying at the moment. You can't just whip them out willy-nilly.
So music's a good teacher then?
Indeed it is.
Yeah,
Indeed
like my grandbaby's got a little bear from Italy, and it sings tiro tiro dono. The whole song. They know the whole song.
That's nice.
A little louder.
No, but that's it's a little bear from Italy, and you squeeze the hand, and it sings all these little Italian
baby songs.
Yeah,
That's nice.
like Ring Around the Rosie in Italian.
Yeah.
Right,
But that was about a disease. We're watching On Air Education. My name is Jonathan Scott. We're going to take another quick 60-second commercial and stay right where you are.
I'll watch it.
All right, break.
Are you timed it? 60 seconds?
That was a great segment.
Just because we used your question?
That was because my phone went off.
No.
Did you hear me raise my volume a little bit? I was talking
I
over it.
didn't miss a beat.
I didn't miss
Very
a beat.
nice.
I knew, because it happens.
And
Yeah.
I didn't even look like nothing is happening. I don't know what you
Yeah,
guys
it must
are
have
hearing,
been,
but nothing in
people
here.
are going, something's wrong with my
Yeah.
computer.
Yeah, exactly. What's wrong? It's my fault?
All right, all set for
Yes.
the last and final segment.
What?
Yes.
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
What?
And we're back, Jonathan Scott. You didn't jump this time.
I didn't. I
You
was
were
ready.
ready.
I was ready.
On Air Education, our guest showman, Frankie Scinta, international recording artist, Giada Valenti, and Durango High School language teacher,
Brad Chandler.
Mr. Chandler.
Mr. Chandler.
So we were
Mr.
talking about how
Chandler.
how you use music in education to teach French.
Yes, indeed.
And I'm surprised to hear that there's modern artists that that can relate. That
Sure, indeed, there are parallels. Everybody copies American music.
Yes.
Everybody
Really?
copies
That's
American
true.
music.
They do.
We have in Italy too. Italian music is not the music that we used to hear.
Not at all.
No, they have rappers, they have R&B, they have just, let's say, the same music we have here, but then with Italian
kids are
lyrics or
shocked
French.
when they hear
Yes. Yeah.
Here's a little bit about our other guest. Giada Valenti was born and bred in Venice, Italy, and showed, I can't even say this word, prodigious musical promise as early as 7 years old. When Giada began studying piano and vocals, as a child, Giada would go on to electrify audiences in regional competitions, wowing audiences with her musical talents and her natural gifts as a performer. Giada honed her skills studying piano and music theory at the Santa Cecilia Music School in Venice. Did I say it right?
Correct.
And later through achieving her music degree at the G. Tartini in Trieste.
Trieste.
Close. After her formal education, Giada skyrocketed to the top rung of Italy's music artists, winning prestigious awards and charting with hit songs. Also enriching Giada's life is connecting to her beloved hometown through its delicious culinary tradition, and through writing about Venice, Giada is a longtime member of the Accademia Italiana della Cucina.
Very good. Well said.
See?
Wow.
See, not bad for a guy from Chicago. A cultural organization recognized by the Italian government that checks Italian restaurants around the world.
See.
Of Master for Meals, Giada says, there's an Italian saying, I love this, the whole world eats to stay alive, and we Italians stay alive to eat. When Giada reflects back on her life and her powerful journey, she says, my story has been really to look for happiness and spread happiness to others. What's kept me going throughout everything is dreaming. Dream big, that's what keeps you going.
It's true.
That's right.
Correct. I don't know where you got the information, but it's pretty true.
Our research department. You know, the boys at R&D.
What did you find out about me?
The FBI. Wait.
All I know is that you're in the Clark County
I've
Education
been
Association.
fingerprinted, I've been run through the system.
You're a board member, you're well respected, and that you are helping our students learn
French.
Trying my
French and language skills.
Indeed.
And so I don't see this going away as far as distance learning and blended education. I think it's going to be here for a while.
I do too. I think it's going to be here in some. It's been here for some time. It's just not been in the forefront as it hit.
Yeah.
Well, you can take all of your school through from kindergarten through high school in Nevada online. You don't ever have to go, and it's been that way for some time. It's
Yeah,
all
people
available.
forget that distance learning is not really a new thing.
No.
You know, when we started this, Carol Adams-Attar and I started this project on our education, 30% of Clark County didn't have Wi-Fi.
Oh, when I started, there was not a computer in the school. 30 years ago, not one computer, and then the principal secretary got a standalone that wasn't hooked to any system anywhere. She could use it to word process, and then they put them all one in every classroom and made us do the attendance. You thought that we asked the teachers to learn another language altogether.
Wow.
Well, I guess we did, didn't we? And the old dinosaurs who'd never been on a computer before, it was very difficult for them. And now, we couldn't live without them.
No, I mean, our phones are computers.
Yes.
If you had to give some tips to the parents that are watching to help their students with distance and blended education, what tips would you give
Check
the parents?
Canvas. Check the grades on Canvas and on Infinite Campus. Keep an eye on what your children are doing. For high school, the danger year is 9th grade, because we get more kids flunk out in 9th grade than any other year, because they come from junior high and all of a sudden you're not so much because we're isolated, but generally it's 9th grade where we lose the students because suddenly there are all kinds of social opportunities and only about half of them are appropriate. So get them through the 9th grade and they're probably going to be okay.
Only half of them are appropriate.
I know that, I've seen it.
Well, you're a dad, you're a granddad. How's your family? How are the kids doing?
You know, the babies, it's amazing because the 2-year-olds know how to navigate kids' YouTube better than most adults. You know, when my mom was alive, God rest her soul, she would call me daily about her iPhone. You know,
Mama Scinta.
I don't know, it's looking at me, and I don't know why I get. But babies know, and 2 years old, you see them and they pick their video and of course we watch everything.
Yeah.
You know. And because there are some dangers out there, but most of it's okay. And they watch stuff that's harmless. You know, kids' YouTube. It's little kids making eggs and opening up eggs, and there's a toy inside. They get a kick out.
Yeah.
The thing they love the most right now, the twins, YouTube guys with leaf blowers blowing. They're amazed by it. They're amazed.
Yeah.
They watch it all day. Papa. Blow the leaves or whatever they call it, khaki. Blow the khaki, and they do. They watch it 20 minutes. The guy's cleaning off a roof, but if Papa uses his leaf blower, they cry because it's too loud.
So to our teachers, what tips would you give as far as engaging your students using distance learning?
I'll tell you what. I spoke in prisons, correctional facilities, and where I was really far removed from the people there. Comedy always gets to the heart. If you could make them laugh, you got them. Because laughter goes right to the heart, and you got them. They go from this to and you got them. I think a little bit of comedy, no matter what it is always good to lift like the teacher element. It lifts it off a little bit. It makes you more human.
Absolutely.
And kids love that.
They'll see that.
Right? They do see that. So I think that is one key. And like he says, he'll sing Alouetta. He's not a great singer, he said it. He probably is. But the kids find it engaging and humorous. So it engages them. I love the way he's teaching. That's
Giada?
great.
I have a great memory. I was good at school too. I never had a problem. But I remember that there were certain things at school that I loved. It was not because it was history I always loved. It was not really the thing I was studying. Was my teacher. Teacher can make a difference in the life of a child. Like Frankie said, you fall in love with your teacher. And I noticed that the teacher and the things I love were teachers that they were really passionate about the things they were teaching. I could feel that some teacher was opening the book and they were reading and making us understand what was written there, and like, this is what you have to learn. And I couldn't care the less of the things, but there were other teachers. There was a period in my life I did a classical lyceum, so Greek, Latin, Italian, and were the basic. But we got to a certain point a teacher for mathematics and science, and he was an amazing teacher because he was so passionate about the chemic things, and I couldn't care the less, but I loved the teacher, the engagement. He was making us do this experiment. He was teaching history of the people that discovered the thing, and we all fell in love, the whole class. That was the thing we loved the most because of the teacher. So about engagement, like Frank said about making them laugh, for me it will be, I remember the teacher I love is because they were passionate about what they were teaching me. They were not teaching me because I had to learn. They were teaching me the things because they said, I love it, maybe you love it too, and because he loved it, I fell in love with it. And it's the same way I always say on stage, I sing all kind of different music, all kind of different languages. I speak 5 languages, I sing in all of them, but there are certain songs that I'm in love with. And it happens every time. Those are the songs that my audience love.
And I'm going to say my favorite, you know what it is.
Which one is it? La Vie en Rose.
La Vie en Rose.
I learned it when I was only 3 years old. That's why I learned French, because I learned phonetically the song, and then when I had to choose French was because I wanted to understand those lyrics.
And I loved it because my grandmother had a little music box for the ballerina, and it played La Vie en Rose.
Oh.
We can talk for hours. Our topic today has been English as a second language. My name is Jonathan Scott. I want to thank our guest, Mr. Chandler. Thank you so much for what you do.
You're welcome.
Thank you for helping our parents and our students and for your long career. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And for being here with us today. Giada Valenti, soon, hopefully, you'll be on a stage and our friends can see you.
I hope so too. Hopefully soon. June 24 is the first one. Fingers crossed.
And Frankie, Scinta, Saturday night, 6 p.m., Facebook Live. Watch this kid. Watch him. I guarantee you he's going to be crying at least once. Singing the whole song.
My kid's laughing because I do get emotional. And you know what? We feel the people looking at us, don't you? You could almost, when they're commenting back and forth, when you do your podcast,
it's important.
You can actually feel that.
It's important. Yes. It's not about me. It's not about my guests. It's about you, the audience. And hopefully we've helped you in some way, and you've got one takeaway, if not more, from today's show. Thank you again for tuning in. Write us. We'll be happy to respond and see what you have to say to help everybody during what we've been going through over the last year and a half. Again, Jonathan Scott, thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you, Carol Adams-Sitar, Richard Jacobino, and our crew here. Eat well, party hard, my friends, and as always, stay safe, stay happy.
All right, chitter chatter, chitter chatter, chitter chatter.
Chitter chatter.
All right, very good.
Asparagus, onions, vegetables.
All right,
Yes.
clear.
Yes.
Smooth it out for you?
For
Yes,
Jacques.
that was very, very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Clear.
And clear in the
And
little
clear.
studio.
I will
Carol,
see
did you
on
get enough
Facebook.
pictures?
I did, but I can always get my, I like the sunglasses.
Thank you, everybody in Facebook land.
Bye, Facebook land. Bye, Monica Davis. Thank you for saying awesome show.
Mont Blanc.
Push the stop thing.
Bye, everyone.
I clean them when
Bye.
they get dirty.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
I love you. See you Saturday.
Yeah, we love you all.
Get it?
Yeah.
Well, I did